Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mike, aka Toad Moto. I'm here in my garage right now with Brandon. Brandon's one of my neighbors. I met him not too long ago. Brandon is a motorcycle enthusiast, and he's more of the engineering mechanic brain than what I am. So he's like a Mr. Miyagi. I would be the Daniel son. He's teaching me a lot of things, but we've been working on both my bike as well as his bike. And so he'll come over from time to time and he'll help me with my bike. And he's been a great resource. We decided that we want to start restoring or building bikes on the cheap end. So we want to start getting some cheaper bikes and seeing what we can do, taking them apart, learning about them, and making videos of the whole process. And yeah, this is Brandon. Brandon, you can tell us what you drive.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I've got a couple bikes. My dedicated off-road bike is a Husaberg FE400 WR. It's a two-stroke, and that one is not street legal, so that's just for heading out to the desert, mountains, whatever, trail riding, track, kind of ride everything. My street bike. Do we want to look at it? So this is actually a 1998. It's an SE, or it's a 400 FE. It's a Husaberg. So if you guys don't know Husaberg, they were actually they're made in Sweden. They use a lot of the same stuff that KTM and Husqvarna uses. Actually, that motor is used in the KTM 400 EXC, I believe. It's a little bit older bike, but it started off just purely as a regular dedicated dirt bike, but I wanted it to be street legal. So for Utah, I had to put headlight, turn signals. These are actually DOT tires, even though they're super aggressive tread. Had to rewire it. It does run off a battery. It has the electric start. So okay, so for the gas tank, I actually found this in a junkyard. It was pretty rusted out. I sanded it down, refinished it. It had some dents. I did some Bondo work, and it actually looks pretty crummy, in my opinion. But it is what it is. I've actually had a little bit of wear and tear on that, so I need to probably repaint it, do some work on it. On the electrical system, I put a main switch so I can turn the entire electrical system off, or I can turn it back on, obviously. Got my turn signals for the rear. Like, this is actually kind of a cool little device. I mean, they're not hard to find necessarily. It's the turn signals right here, and then it's got the brake stuff. Something that you got to learn about brake stuff when you're doing this kind of a project is, when you come around to this side, I'll show you. So originally this was just a full dedicated off-road bike. It wasn't street legal in any way. So when you pull on the brake lever, you've got to figure out, you got to get that to actually send a signal or connect a circuit so that your brake lights come on. And the way that happens is this little bolt right down here has a pressure sensor in it right here. So when the hydraulic fluid creates that pressure for your calipers, it also connects a circuit right in here, and these two wires come up through, and when you hit this, the brake light turns on because it actually completes the circuit back here for the brake light. So anyway, one thing you got to figure out is that every state is different. So this works for Utah, doesn't necessarily, it's not a DOT piece of equipment or approved piece of equipment, so it might not work in your state. Hard to know. Got to do your homework for where you live. So that's kind of the overview of my bike. It's still, there's still more work I want to do on it. I'm thinking about actually lowering the front just a little bit. I do have the suspension set, so it sits pretty low right now in the back, but the front still sits kind of high, so I'd prefer to maybe lower the front just a little.
Where'd you get those cool handlebars from?
These handlebars were given to me as a gift from a good friend of mine, and
these came off the XL 500 S.
So these were the original bars from that bike right there, right?
Yeah, from this one.
Yeah.
So I found these bars at the junkyard, and I like them better. They have a little bit of a higher grip for me. I'm a tall guy. Some other stuff that I've been doing on my bike, I got some like rust, I forget what it's called. It's right here. So Rust-Oleum, I got this at Ace Hardware, and I've just been kind of spot painting, but the frame looks a lot nicer than what it did. I had this other anti-rust stuff that I put on all the spots to kind of get rid of the rust, but it's coming together. I'm gonna paint a lot more on it. I think I'm gonna paint the handlebars either orange or white. But when I get to that point, we got a lot to do to get to that point. But yeah, this is what the bike looks like. It was kind of hard to get the engine off. If you were by yourself, it would have been flat out impossible, but having a couple people, we were able to get it out. But it's kind of nice that you can actually unbolt the engine on the XL500S, and then you can take it apart, as opposed to detaching everything and pulling the engine out of it.